and then you're getting comfortable fighting with that, so that sounds good. Where do you think you're at with
Yeah.
Bel'Veth? Like I would say step one, the bad player double dashes towards them, misses W and then dies. Step two, you move into them. You still Q towards them once, and then maybe land the W, and then use all the Qs for the damage, E finish. And then the best Bel'Veth just walks right into them, auto Qs, and then
Damn, all right.
and then follows them with the Q Q Q Q W Q E. Where do you think you're at?
Honestly, I'm probably beginner. Honestly, like I have a couple of games with Bel'Veth, but I still don't think I'm that good. Like there's a reason I'm in silver.
Okay. Oh my God, we're silver Bel'Veth. We're cooking. You're not the first one
Yeah.
already. What's your IGN? Or do you have a VOD?
Um, my IGN, it would be the first curse, and then the numbers. It's 8075.
Why can you just type it out, please?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. My bad.
Thank you. Hmm. The first cursed. Last Shadow 9.
Yeah, there we go.
The last guy I coached, his name was like, oh, it was so bad. What was it? Like the worst player or some shit like that. I was like, come on, man. Don't do Come on, man.
There we go.
I like the first curse though. It's like haunting.
I like
Alrighty. And then, oh my God, don't go that item. We
which
need
item? Let me see.
the fucking tank item. So let's just get all
Oh, really?
damage.
Don't go Wrecker, whatever it's called.
For now, just buy some damage. It won't do you wrong. Tank items will. At this rank, you're going to be able to run right into them.
Oh man, that hurt. That loss right there. You just clicked on.
Okay, you want to look at
I
this one?
feel like we lost because we didn't zone him off Baron,
Okay.
and Jarvan came in with the steal. Boom, and then right after that, we had another team fight where Nautilus just went in into like four people. I know I should have let. Now thinking about it, I was like, damn, I should have let him die. But for some reason, my ego got to me. I don't know, and I would just boom. I went in there. We all died. Boom. FF.
A one mistake lose, huh?
The two back to back. Yeah, the first one was the Baron, not zoning off Baron or getting a pick before getting Baron. Getting it stolen, and then right after it was the second team fight. Yeah, and then it
Yeah,
just
you guys are juiced too.
yeah.
Okay, so do you want to watch this one or another one?
Yeah, we can either watch that one or the I think the not that 8 and 11 one. I want to know where we lost. 'Cause I feel like
You have
even though
Nasus.
yeah,
You
yeah,
have
I was
bullshit.
gonna
Fuck
say
this
we
game.
got we got Nasus. I was gonna say we got an early pick on look at him, Tom Kench, 21 and 2. We killed him early, man. We killed him like at minute 3. I went to gank.
I'm running away
We
from that
killed him.
replay. Fuck that. Don't even tell me about it. Fuck that. Tompkins has 21 kills.
Yeah, I
Run.
was like, what? It was
I
bad.
don't even know what kills him. You get Bork and it's all Jesus. Like, good luck.
Yeah, it was bad. I was like, what? A tank doing that much damage?
What? You don't start Raptors? What are we doing?
No, I don't. So I get the leash, right? I
Why?
get the leash and then I no clue, honestly. I feel like
Alrighty.
I saw a video of someone starting blue solo on Velvet, but I feel like my cure is not that good on Velvet. So look how much damage I still take.
Well, yeah, if you start blue side, it's dog shit. Like, it takes too long. Blue Gromp are your
Ah,
slowest camps. Raptors,
ah,
red Golems is very fast level 3. And then starting
okay.
Raptors also gives you option to invade level 2. Or invade level 3. Or gank top. Or cross through mid. And then fight in his red side. Something like that. It gives you so many like branching options. Whereas
Okay,
this,
so always as Velvet start Raptors.
well, it makes it very consistent.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing like every fucking game. I very rarely have a reason not to. And then do it will let you do the invades more because you'll have that red buff too. You'll be
Oh
strong
God,
enough.
you're gonna see right here. I think that I'm a beginner level Velvet.
Beep 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 beep. Why is he crossing through mid? They see you.
Ah,
Oh
would you be
geez.
crossing behind tower?
Oh geez. Bring it around town.
Yeah, I was gonna go invade him, but then I was like, wait,
You
this
think you
guy's right
should queue
here.
right here?
No, I should have walked up to him, huh? I should have walked up to him and auto and then Q.
Yeah. Pillar. Okay, the pillar's invisible.
Auto queue.
Q is fine. Well, that's what you did. You auto-queued. It was good. Auto. Now, you don't need a W just yet. Let all these Qs rip until you use that W.
Okay.
Unless you
So
have a...
just waste out my Q and then.
Oh, see. Yeah, because the
Yeah.
Q is going to give you as much damage as possible. All of them. That sets you up for the E. And if the enemy's running away, let's say he flashes away if you had that, or you're trying to follow him with a Q, then you land the W, QE. Because, yeah, that got messy. But you started off super good. Moving. Pillar, auto, Q, auto, Q. And then if I'm BEL'VETH right here, I auto Q. That guy's taunted. No reason to layer that CC.
That's true.
And then where you QE, he keeps... You QE that way, he's going that way. That's where the mistake was. Trundle's dead, baby. Now, what do you want to do?
We always beat the Trundle, right?
That champion's ridiculous. 303. When does Scuttle spawn?
3:30.
Okay. Now, what do you want to do with these 30 seconds?
Try to go for an invade.
I don't know, man. You just spent some resources right here, and your E is on cooldown for 13 seconds.
All right. So if I'm damaged, I shouldn't fight at all, right?
Well, it's not that you can't fight, but if you invade, you're taking it all the way. They're going to hit you.
Not only that, but Trundle's respawning, so he might be able to collapse on me. You're right.
Right. He could
I
do
should
that.
go back to my camps and play it safe until 3:30.
You can do that too. And then if you're clearing these, you might as well clear all of them into that bot scuttle. By the time J4 would clear all this, he would have control over this area. So if you're walking in there, then you're going to be walking into him. He's level 4. It's a bad time.
All right.
Alright, so I think you have two options. Golems, wait for Trundle to TP back, gank him again.
That's viable?
Yeah.
Dang, just regank him like that? Okay.
Yep.
No.
Oh, J4 would have hit the Scryer. It's a fucking challenger move. Legit, like nobody would have done that. And there's the TP, super slow.
This guy used to be Emerald, and I was like, what? This guy's Silver now? You know, he's in my lobby, the Jarvan.
Yeah.
I was just...
Oh man, don't do this. So now you're trying to get your next power up. Like you've already done the play. So even if you kill Trundle here, like you're losing too much XP in a sense. These two camps give you level 4. And then that you already have enough gold too, you're juiced. You have 900, these will give you close enough to good components.
2 longswords and like the boots. Yeah.
Alrighty. And he walked
and
away. And it's warded. Yep.
And I think I get collapsed here, yeah.
Q. Oh, need to Q that E. See ya.
True.
Yep, if you just kept it steady right here. And by doing these camps too, the enemy has to attack you. Since it's skill-based matchmaking, you give them some room to operate. And then they can make a mistake. Let's say J4 gank top. Then you could have a play. After those Raptors, you hit level 4. Something like that. But yeah.
True.
After the play, back to the camps farm would have been best play. And now you're on the loser's reset in which you need to get some... You still need level 4, but you have to do it in a weird sequence because these two camps are up. Personally, I'd go bot lane, do that scuttle, and then you could try to gank bot, or you can go back to your Gromp. And then you're clearing up in the same way, and you're back on top side when Void Grubs are up.
Dang, that's perfect. See, like, thank you. So just abandon top side, even though I need to clear him. Yeah, you're right. Just look at that. Bot lane is fighting right now, and I could have been there.
Yep. Okay. Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
Yeah, I know. I just hate Trundles, man. I just want to see him. I think it's away too, so it wasn't worth. And Shen gets there late. Yeah.
Shipping. You have a duty to get close to level 5 and then fight for these Void Grubs. At least that's where your real fight is. Oh boy. Now J4 could kick your ass here. Trundle can come down. Yeah, show him who's boss, Trundle. Chomp.
Yeah, you knew, see? Dang.
He's the BEL'VETH guy. Get out of base! Okay, we're fucked. Now you need to full clear. After a double dip lose, you definitely full clear.
Full clear, forget the lanes for a bit?
Yeah, you have no choice. You go level 5.5 by full clearing, God bless catch-up XP, and you just need one more camp for 6, and you're back. you have recurve bow on reset probably. But there's nothing for you to do for the lanes because you're so far behind in XP. You're level 4, mid lane's level 6. Top laners will usually be level 7 around this time too. So there's no reason to even try to gank the solo lanes at this point. So yeah, let's full clear. Damn it, do that red buff! We saw J4, yeah, but then here comes the Trundle problem, you know? God bless. Shit!
Yeah. Relentless, look at him.
Oh, imagine maining Trundle though. How fun would that be?
No way.
To auto Q and move around, oh my god.
Auto QW to get away. Or chase. Oh my.
Historically in pro play, whenever tank junglers are strong, Trundle comes back in the jungle. And that's what's happening, but then Trundle always loses because they pick Trundle instead of like a champ with like 80 abilities. They get Trundle with the take MR or take stats and then fucking chomp him. Champion, that's all he does. Don't forget Pillar.
Pillar, that's right.
Alrighty, J4 invaded and he died. That's what I'm saying. If we're clearing our camps, it gives them an opportunity to come fuck up, you know? It's super hard for them to invade BEL'VETH because you have those 2 dashes away usually. Alrighty, we're in the game.
Like right there, should I forget Scuttle, go invade his jungle, or no, huh? Because the respawn is too short.
You have recurve and base. You just want to get as many camps as possible, so this play has started. You don't want to go for his camps because this is happening. So then you have like 3 options. Flank, scuttle, go to the fight that way. I would probably go for the flank, but then Echo's there, so I guess... I don't know. Like, you're going to have to chase them into this, and that's not in your interest. Let's just do scuttle.
Okay.
And then after scuttle, if you invade... Echo has been mid lane the whole time, so then he can come stop you, because your mid lane was fighting bot. So it's better to do your camps. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. And then immediate reset after those are done. Just purchase whatever components we can get, and then we're back to the top side.
I feel like that's one problem I have. I don't reset it. Sorry for cutting you off.
You're
But
fine.
I feel like I don't reset enough. Yeah, like I hold on to too much gold.
Well, like right here, can you see the reset? As you finish the wolves, what's on the map for you? Here's bot lane. Anything here?
No, he's recalling and the wave's pushed in.
Ready? Here's mid lane. If there's going to be a play here, it's going to take you a while. This wave has to crash. And then Echo, imagine Echo right here. What is he going to do?
I mean, he's just gonna wait, right? Wait for the wave to come back in.
Yeah, and then what?
I mean, he's just gonna be in there with what's her name, Vex?
Yeah, Vex will be here. Echo's right here. Wave crashes. What does Echo do? Does he dash on top of Vex?
WE, yeah. I feel like it, right?
Nah, Vex has this bullshit. Whenever champion dashes, like builds up this, and then she gets way more damage.
Oh, that's right. She's anti-dash. That's what she's.
Yep. She has a shield too. She's fine. So Echo wants to wave clear. As soon as he's just going to throw his Q and stand there. You would have to rely on him going in for you to even have the opportunity for a play. And then that would cost you all the time of the wave coming in, sitting here, and then chancing Echo dashing in. And now mid lane's big as fuck too, so it takes way longer to even get in position afterwards. All for him to flash away at the very most, you know? And he has ulti. You think he killed level 8? Yeah, level 8 Echo with all this shit. We're level 5, level 6.
Yeah, there's literally no way.
No
We're catching him with
objectives.
the ult up.
No objectives. Bot lane's resetting. Nothing happening here. A bunch of gold in her pocket. Time to go back.
Okay, perfect.
I swear with mid lane too, it's fine to use the 2 dashes at the start. Because you need to fucking close the distance.
I remember, I think you did // W in one of your videos.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who you got, but I remember you doing that in mid lane. I was like, oh, you know what? Sometimes I need to sacrifice my own flash. Instead of for safety, it's for making plays, you know?
Oh yeah, Bel'Veth's flash is always the reach. Getting in range fast enough or chasing them down. Alrighty, Trundle is dead. He has Trinity? Oh, fuck. He's gonna hit hard. So your camps are up, the Void Grubs are up. What are you thinking? You just killed Trundle.
I'd say right now, since we just killed Trundle, I get my Shen to come help me with the grubs, no?
Alrighty, what does
I
Shin
mean,
want to do?
Shen wants to keep farming, dang. I mean,
Well,
crash in the wave.
exactly. He wants to crash the wave. Can you help him do that?
Yeah, but the thing is, most in this elo, I feel like people don't know that, you know?
Ah,
Like,
fuck them. Come on,
for
just push
just
with
do it,
them.
they always help them
Yeah,
crash it and be like, come here, drag him.
yeah. Once he has another bad guy to click, which would be the the Void Grubs, then he'll be happy. So,
Okay.
so yeah.
All right.
Shin wants
Perfect.
to. He wants to crash the wave before moving. It's in his best interest too. Then you could be here sharing the wave. That's fine. And then you both move as a group, and that's good. Ready. And then we have Kraken and base, which is awkward. It's like, do you recall, do you not? Well, it depends. Q. W. See, just Q right into him. Imagine, Q auto. So much more damage was dealt right there.
That's true. Just keep queuing.
Yeah, and then
Right.
definitely auto right here. The E will go to the minions and shit when there's a big wave.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah. Alrighty, Trundle is dead again. We did Trundle kill, walk around,
Dude, that
scuttle,
pisses me off
Trundle
that they
kill.
won, man.
Schmack. Nice. Delay the coral pickup. What? Yeah, you gotta use the E when the small ones are dead. Alrighty, not too
That goes
bad.
to them, right? Yeah.
Yep. Kraken. Boots, longsword. Alrighty, so you got the Void Grubs. And since you did that, you're not gonna have enough time to get to the dragon, then also fight that. So what do you
For
think
some
on the
reason in my
reset?
head, I'm like, oh, I need to go to the objectives, you know? 'Cause,
Well,
even
that's
in my
correct,
lane,
but you did this one,
that's true.
so then we can give that one. It's fine. And then next step is power yourself up. So how do you do that? If they're doing the dragon right now, what do you think?
I can go. Let's see. Right now, I mean, they're doing the Dragon Ball side. Trundle's up there, you know. Not only can I do my camp, so I
That's
can
what
go
I'm
gank
saying.
him
Trundle's
again.
up there.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a good option. He's fucking pushing too. That's all Trundle does. Push, push, push.
Yeah.
And then anything else?
We can farm my camps. I was gonna
Okay.
say I can also invade his top jungle, right? His blue side.
Yes, now we're
Yeah.
fucking talking. We give this for that.
Okay, okay. Always counter jungle when they take an objective.
Well, they're bot side, so that gives us top side. Let's go
Top
get
side.
top side. Let's go
Nice.
attack top side. We can have it all. We can have his blue side, gank top, do our camps. Perfect. Then we're fucking juiced, baby.
There we go.
Then
That's right. Big man, dude. You're a big man. Thank
Exactly.
you. Holy.
We go level 9. J4 stays level 7. Calls his mom, says the esports career is not for him. Nah, those other kids click better than me. I can't. I'm coming home, mom. I spend hours in the gym. They're still clicking faster. I put weights on my fingers. Fucking ridiculous.
No, imagine.
This renew Rift Herald takes forever. On spawn,
Yeah.
it takes forever. It's fine to leave up to do these camps. So like J4,
Really? Okay, okay.
yeah, so J4 did this, you do these, you get level 9, and then you go find J4 in his blue side. Kill J4, take Rift Herald.
Dang, big, you're right. 'Cause I honestly, that's what I like about BEL'VETH is that one-on-one, she's pretty strong, and I feel like, yeah, if it's like an isolated fight, kind of like Kha'Zix, you know, I feel like on top of the world.
Oh yeah. And you get to chase them with these damn dashes. I just had like, one of the higher rank players complain, he's like, dash more. I was like,
Is that what they typed to you?
yeah, I think it was a Viego player. I was like, what do you want, man?
Dash more. That's all my kit does.
As Viego presses E and runs at the speed of light.
True.
W, auto. Okay. I think the QE was a bit soon. Alrighty. Q forward, and then Q to follow is fine. Good W. And then with the W, you could auto Q.
Auto Q. It gives me enough time to walk up to him.
Well, you'd have to W, move forward, auto Q.
Auto Q. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Get that extra damage in.
Yep, then you could do another auto Q from there. And then after this Q, definitely just auto. Because you can keep following them. Until they're like this low, we don't have to use the E. Oh, and then that Q back it's fine this time, but careful. It was the same as the first Q where he's going this way, you Q'd that way.
I honestly have an issue. I need to practice on my dash for sure. Yeah, because
I mean, it's all experience. Like, you have to fucking mess him up a billion times, so. But like, what makes it easy is if you just stand there. He's gonna be moving right into you. And then if you're standing there, it's auto. It's fine.
That's what you mean by just walk up to him and smack him, huh?
Yep.
Smack him and then dash. Okay.
Reset.
Reset. Oh, okay.
Camps are dead, 1400 gold. To the bot side. Then it would be time to go bot side. Because you could just do anything you wanted. Into their jungle, flank bot, kill them, farm your camps. Shipping. Oh, Echo is bot lane. Alright, this isn't too bad. If you ride the Rift Herald, then it spawns the void shit, the void grubs whenever it smacks.
What? Really?
Yeah. If you have the buff, like, what is it, 5 or 6 of them, then it will spawn the shit ton of the void grubs, and then they'll die pretty quick, and then since you have empowered form, it will spawn the funny minions.
No way, kind of like the Baron buff or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Rift, yeah.
And it's fun to ride it. Don't miss the
There
turret.
Nah.
Alright, Ninja Tabby and then Bork. Ninja Tabby's okay. You always have to consider that you're delaying Bork with these, but it's fine. And then Ninja Tabby is more mobility as well. This will show Trundle to fucking exist. Alrighty, just auto him.
Yeah.
And then?
I noticed that I overuse my E a lot.
Alrighty, you killed Trundle. What's next?
We killed Trundle. Objective top. We can try to go for his... Check out his jungle, right? What's his respawn timer? 12 seconds?
Yeah, the dragon's coming up, but you'd have to reach into his jungle. There's something easier.
Just keep pushing top?
Yeah, exactly. Push top.
Okay.
Hit that turret. The void grubs, you're juiced. You guys take this pretty fast.
That's true. Keep forgetting about the void grips. And yeah, see, I think I go all the way down the dragon. I think we lose.
Well, yeah, now these guys have stayed top. Yeah. Do this as a team, they reset. Even if enemy takes dragon, you're all on the map at the same time. Maybe you can make a play bot together or something.
That's fair.
Or even farm back to top side, and then work together again. But then doing this solo, yeah, you're going to be outnumbered. Up. Close ulti. Bong. He got scared.
Yeah, he ulted right next to me. I was like, he's a level ahead, but he lives.
Ooh, dodges a Q. Ah, you had it. You had it. Q.
Yeah.
Oh. Q auto W.
This is why he lives. I was like, what?
Oh, no, you're going to...
Yeah.
Okay, I would
That's literally why he lives.
He has flash, but he has, like, damn. Okay. Don't do this. Okay,
No,
J4 is dead.
Just to scare him. Yeah.
J4 is dead. Do the dragon. And hurry it up. We got places to be. I want to farm for Bork. Anything in between is kind of bullshit. So it's like dragon, entertain bot, and then if nothing, farm up. You probably have the Bork on reset. Shit. W. Q.
Oh my god. Oh. That hurts. That hurts more than I remember.
I swear the double dip never works. I didn't get you
never
last time,
double
but I'll
dip.
show you. Q, and then your only option is E. Clinking the W doesn't, or isn't, well, damn. Oh, you EQ'd, I see. GG. That's a 20 trillion gold to an Echo, a bullshit champion that is too easy to play. Your carries are now dead.
Yeah.
Alright, so you drop the ball. That's okay. That one's not game losing, but it's bad. But you have to notice that's a drop of the ball. No dragon, no siphon all the camps. So that's a lot of XP, a little bit of gold, and then also just pushing the pace of the game, speeding it up. Denying them that.
Okay, so just go for dragon, right? Going for dragon was right.
Yeah. Yeah, J4 was dead. You had it. Then you don't have to do any of this fight. What's going on? Okay. Lord help the person in silver playing Zeri. Holy shit. Skill shot ADC. Don't do that.
I was gonna say, I haven't seen a Zeri that has won in either team, you know?
Ooh, W. Nice. Q over the wall. Nice. Lose under turret. They need to push. Oh.
Yeah, I dip here and then I die. I know, it's so bad.
Yeah, right there you have to commit in. You have a winning position. A bit of a QW. See how this is taking too long?
Yeah, give me enough time to get Trundle to come back in.
Oh, fuck.
In.
We have no E? Shit. What's nice about BEL'VETH too, she has those 2 dashes away most of the time. So it's like, oh, this play's bullshit. Waddle on back to the camps.
Just leave the team. Yeah, I thought of doing that. Yeah, and honestly, that's what I need to do. I just need to play for myself more because BEL'VETH is a scaling champion, right? So no matter what.
Yeah, you have a responsibility to play for yourself. Your goal is to power up and power up. And then even though she's strong with these early game plays, she is a mid-game champion. If she doesn't win mid-game, she loses. So you're powering up for an exact spike in that mid-game. So if you ever feel bad about farming or something, in the early game at least, it's like, you know that you're playing for that point.
That's true.
Then also, it's like you don't need to win those fights, like right there, and the last couple, you don't need to win those to win the game. If you get them, cool. If not, it's fine. Do you have overheal? What the fuck?
That's from the green pet and the
Yeah, the
not
greens.
Triumph, but the other one, yeah, the overheal. Hold over here.
That's echo damage right there.
I got deleted by that. Yeah.
Dude, this J4 matchup sucks cock too. You win early until he does the funny EQ. And you don't deal enough damage. Alrighty, you need to Q down. Goodbye.
Airborne. I'm like, oh, no. And then he just R's bomb. He did.
And then we win Baron. We have done like a back to back to back to back into we get Baron, baby. We got Bork.
Yeah.
I mean, you're missing like a Ruby Crystal in level 13 right now. It's fine. Bop, 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 bop. Q. Yes. Trundle's dead. Alright, we can win, boys. Stingler's dead. Heal up.
I think we do Baron. Alright.
The Baron. I usually move like right here and then Q, 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 Q. And then just repeat that. And then using the E like as soon as it's up. Never spinning the W on Baron.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, in case they come and the damage sucks and it slows down your auto attacks. The auto attacks are dealing more damage by themselves. They're applying on hit and they're applying the jungle pet. Echo could literally steal it. What an awesome champion. That's cool.
Yeah, this first one I think we get. It's the second one where they steal it. Yeah.
Now you have a sequence right here where you can become fucking juiced despite all. After the Baron, where do you want to go? Because you said you need to get strong, right?
Yeah.
Where do you get as much farm as possible?
And the lanes.
Right. Which lane do you want to go to?
Right now I want to go to top lane, right? Because it's pushing towards us.
Yes. So we push out that top wave, we Baron buff them, and we spawn funny minions. And you don't even have to stay top lane. But yeah, we push next wave, and then you can choose to do their blue side, or you could reset, and then you can farm your camps, but farming camps takes too long with Baron. You only have the buff for so long. So you could stay top, keep pushing, or swap to bot lane. And then you just get a ton of farm that way. As you've pushed out the lanes, it then gives you access to the enemy's jungle. And then you can attack them just like an invade, but in the mid game, you know, you have to play it a little bit more precise. You can be outnumbered. But if you take those camps, you fucking take over the game. Because in the mid game, the enemy jungle has nothing else to get. So then you can, J4 will go level 14, you'll go level 16 if you push out these waves, get their camps. And then if no one shows up, fuck, you take the turret too. It's easy.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
Playing with your team here, it's like you're chancing a fight to help you get a turret. Whereas these are all guaranteed. Guarantee get those minions. Guarantee get the next wave. Maybe get the turret. Maybe get his camps. Maybe even have a fight or a pick because you have the 2 items. You're strong enough. And they're all pretty weak. So yeah. Meanwhile.
Dang, all that gold on, just gone.
I do get this playing around the dragon at least. If a fight happens, I'd rather be here. Bong. Okay.
I think someone pushed her because I was like, no way Lulu comes in willingly.
I'm gonna steal this
Someone
shit.
yeah. I was like, what? Oh my. I get caught here by the echo again.
No, you commit into this. You're trying to fight here. Where's your friends at? What are they doing?
True. They're retreating, they're backing.
Right. Why are they doing that?
We just got dragon. Reset.
Yeah, well, we just got dragon. They may want to reset. What else would they want to do?
Go back and farm.
They're not trying to farm. We have Baron buff. So we're trying to.
My bad. Push lanes. That's what I meant.
That's
like,
right.
Go back
Push,
to lane
push,
and
push.
Yeah.
So you have to wait for them to push. Or else you're going to find yourself here. They're going to be over here.
Okay.
You can even push with them. Spawn the funny minions. So yeah, you're skipping the step of push the lanes and then invade. If you invade before pushing the lanes, L. For tons of reasons.
This may sound stupid, bro, but it's like you're opening my eyes. Like I always try to be like the head of the spear, but you're right. Like the world doesn't revolve around my BEL'VETH play. Like I have to play around my teammates, their positions, you know.
Yep. Oh, close. Does that help us get a turret, huh? Come on, BEL'VETH, hustle up, push them lanes. We chunked to J4. He's 2 and 6. Come on, score some fucking goals.
That's right. See, like I don't know what to do with my lead. You're right. Like I'm following it all.
Hey man, I just played. Never mind. Never mind. I just played a game where they didn't like Baron too much either. I'll put it at that. Oh yeah. Alrighty, so we're pushing. This is okay. They double reset for split pushing Trundle. I love silver. I love low elo. So this is why pushing the side lanes is easier. It's much harder to hit this turret compared to like any of these. Because you could even like Q in, auto, and then Q away. It'd be fine. But mid lane turret's just kind of fucked. If you don't have like a ranged carry with you pushing, yeah. Alright. If I'm BEL'VETH right here, I go kill Trundle. There's nothing else to do. And then stopping for the Gromp, it's like, let's chance Trundle. Q, auto, Q, Close. Could have got that kill. How much gold we got? Bang. 2,600. Okay. And then you could go like wits in.
I think I went Terminus.
Not that one.
Yeah, dude, I got baited. Do you think that's a bait item? What do you think?
It's a 4th, 5th item. It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. Like, Rageblade actually augments your DPS. Terminus is like, what is it? You got me. Until you're level 16 and you have a 4th or 5th item, don't worry about that shit. Here I'm thinking like Black Cleaver or Wits as your next item. Either is fine. Black Cleaver is a little bit better. Makes you tankier and then gives you some armor shred. Because these guys are getting levels and they'll actually be tanky. And then the HP and AD helps you against the squishier targets. And then these two things are physical
that's where I
damage
built
too.
Rook or...
Alright, good luck.
For the what's his name? For the Echo, I was like, dang.
Yeah, with Black Cleaver giving you HP too, it works against both without having to focus one or the other. That's where building tank items is harder for BEL'VETH. You have to dedicate to one. Armor or MR. And they start the fight. You got the flank. This is not bad. Now, you have the... Hold on. I sped it up too fast. Alright, you have the flank, and then who are you looking to attack? Without even looking at the fight, on their team, what do you think?
I want to go for a squishy, right? I want to take out Zeri.
Okay.
Or Jarvan, you know, one of the... Because Zeri... DPS, right? But in this, like you said, she's missing all her shots, all her keys. Jarvan is more like a Jarvan is a lockdown machine. So if he R's someone or 2 people, right? Echo can follow up with his W and just stun and do massive amounts of damage. So I want to go either for the Echo or Jarvan.
You can't really stop the Jarvan though. He takes a bit to kill. So let Jarvan engage and then focus the Echo. In that case.
Okay.
Right, so you have the right idea. Focus a carry. Bang, bang, or a shitty support. That's what I would be thinking. And then which one's higher priority this game? Zeri or Echo?
Echo.
Alrighty, let's
100%.
focus Echo. Let's see it.
But nah, right here I panic. I'm like, oh, they're gonna flame me if I don't go in, and they get Jin.
Well, I thought this Q-in was bad because I was like, fuck, let's keep flanking. But yeah, Echo's going in. And then it's mitigated. So we need to reach Echo. We've already used one Q. So it's just a straight line. Boldly walk into him. Because these guys are fighting, they've spent abilities. So you're probably good to just walk into him. You're not going to get bursted. There's EQ. That's good for us. Don't use the Q like that. And then we're on to Zeri. Alrighty, Zeri is dead. Smack. Alrighty, I mean, you got him. Oh.
I'm like, oh, Trundle. Kind of panicked right there, so I went back a little. Yeah, you got her.
Bink. Yeah, that's
he's so fast.
Come back, bastard.
Yeah.
Legit, you can run Ghost against him if you want. Now that we both know
that's actually viable. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
it's
Ghost
pretty
is
annoying when he does that.
Ghost is fine against like fucking Trundle, Udyr, like those sort of fucking champs.
Hecarim. I always run Ghost against Hecarim no matter.
Stop pushing, you piece of shit!
Yeah, it's like that's all they know how to do. Right here, I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, he's right there.
Hold on. You hit too many minions. It's late game, it's gonna be harder, but you gotta like keep it at, I don't fucking know. Keep your head in the game. Auto? No. I know that's an A click, come on.
No. Yeah, I autopilot a lot. I was like, wait, what? I was like, let me get closer.
Yeah, then you wanna auto, or you wanna W, Q, and then auto. At least before this E. He's full HP. You have to wait for him to be lower. Bong. Reset dragon? Terminus coming in. It's a 30 magic damage on hit, like late game item. It's so fucking bad. I don't know, like what the fuck they were thinking.
I saw a couple of videos, people recommending it, so I'm like, you know what? And ever since then, I just built it.
Kraken Slayer 200 And then even if you divided this by 3, like it'd be more than 30 magic damage every single hit. Come on. Amazing. And then what's our next objective?
Baron.
Alrighty, let's go there. Careful. Is the lane pushed? Check. Is our allies near us? Hell no. They're going they're going towards mid lane and near Baron. Oh, you're level 16. Kill Lulu, it's fine. You got her ult, it's done. BEL'VETH is actually super fucking good at these sort of plays. Like, you go in, get someone's ulti, and leave. But you have to leave. You can't double dip. Damn, I've been doing this all day, especially against top laners. Just show up, they have to ult. Okay. Let's go to Baron.
Like, say right there, like you just explained, right? You do that to their top laner. Do you go back after you pop their ult, right? You make them use their ult, you go back.
Right, but it comes later. So it's like, we got Lulu ult, let's fight Baron. It's like, if I got top laner's ult, I would like farm 3 camps, gank again.
Okay.
Yeah. Or my laner would have advantage and they can do something. Oh shit! This will show you. I mean, you are throwing right here. Jin's like, what the fuck is my team doing? Okay. A lot of resources expended. Oh shit. Guys, Jin isn't here. You better be sure queuing in. Who are you trying to kill?
Right now, honestly, anyone that comes in my grasp. That's just how I view BEL'VETH at that moment right there. When I say, once I start building Terminus, for some reason I gained this ungodly confidence that I should not have. You know, I need to keep my feet on the ground. Look at, someone's level 18, and I'm level 16, man. I shouldn't be doing this. You're right.
Well, you're gonna have to front to back in, and that's much harder than flanking and killing the carries. Echo ulti's back, pick up ulti. Picking up the ulti's a bit too slow, but this fight's fucking chaos. We win?
Yeah!
Crime pays, baby. That W is good. Even though you had the autos, it saves Vex. And then keep autoing, don't pick up that ult. Q, auto. Pop. Okay.
Better pick it up because I'm like, doesn't it do true? Yeah.
The lower they are, the more damage it deals. Right? Oh, who cares? Who won Baron? Die! Die, Mr. Fast Guy. Bong. And you can just walk straight to Baron, I'll be honest. 18, 6, 20. Not enough time to end.
I think I just straight up walk into tower here and just take it down. Like, no minions.
Oh shit, it's one of those guys. Okay. Well, we got a bunch of fucking gold. And they get Baron? What's going on, guys? I see. Disaster's coming.
Yeah, we started Baron right here, and this, look, boom, Jarvan, check that out. I panic when I see that. I smite
Q?
early, right?
Yeah, Q and smite.
Q and smite, okay.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I saw the umbrella, I'm like, wait, we don't have vision? I'm like, no. So I panic, smite immediately, boom. This is where it starts going super downhill.
You can't lose Baron, like, late game. So you either have to play it slower, or, you know, Q smite it. If you're trying to steal, too.
Oh,
you
this hurts. Sorry. Oh.
Yeah, it's all over. Yeah, this is how you lose games. Welcome to BEL'VETH. It's real fun when you're riding the high, but then if it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Bop, Q, bop. Oh, don't W.
Away.
Don't W, just keep autoing. Bop. And then if we had W here, we're in. Yeah, everyone's too high HP to E as well. Alrighty, we're moving forward. Someone needs to die. Fuck.
No one dies. They all live. That's where it starts going downhill.
That Trundle is fucking smacking. And then they push. If your team makes one mistake, you can lose. It's 35 minutes in. This is
I don't understand. We killed Trundle so much. Like, so many times, and he still demolishes towers. It's like, what?
Oh, that champ's bullshit like that. Wait till you see a Rengar top.
Oh, God.
Rengar with Trinity, he fucking, like, kills in 2 seconds. Nautilus, where are the boys at? Who's following up, huh?
Look, that's what I mean. That's the second fight right here where it all goes downhill. I'm like, no way. Nautilus just queued into 4 people. That's where I told you that I was like, oh, I should have just left him alone, let him die, regroup with my team. But for some reason, I'm like, no, he went in. I have to go in now.
Yeah, if you're gonna go in, who do you have to get on?
I have to get on one of the squishies, like Jarvan, Echo, or in this case, Lulu. Right? Should be the
Well,
closest
at this
one.
stage, like Jarvan's actually gonna be tanky for you. Since we don't have armor pen from Black Cleaver, like this guy has 150. You'd be surprised once you fucking hit him. So I think Echo, Lulu, or Zeri, and then good luck. And then the
Yeah,
another
no.
option is to play it slower. That's also fine. But if you go in, it sets up the Vex and it also sets up the Jin and Shin. It gives them time. Ooh. I don't know if
To
you can
move
survive
in
it
and
though.
flank.
I don't even think it's a flank. I think this guy's gonna focus. They're all gonna be focusing Nautilus. So you wait for them to commit like this with Echo's E and his W, Jarvan's EQ, and then you would go in. So there's the EQ, there's the W, and now like they're in here, but you would have to reach past them, so you have to ignore these two, and then get onto either one of these.
Okay. So in team fights like that, when I set my mind or like my mind on someone, I just focus them in, like laser in, and then ignore like Trundle and Jarvan type thing.
Well, it depends, but in this case, it would have been for the best.
Okay, okay.
Because you won't be killing these guys. That's fucking
Nah. Yeah.
3,800 HP. Yes, every item in the game. He also has Thornmail, which fucking sucks for us. Whereas this entire combo onto any one of these guys would almost be like one-shotting them.
I mean, we could have all ganged up on. Oh, I think goes me.
And Echoes. Oh, God.
Bomb. Yeah, if he throws him in, Echo just eats him, and dies.
Oh, yeah, it is silver. Never mind. I was like, Jen, come on. We need it. It's silver. He's going to get hit by that EQ. GG.
Yep, and this is where we lose.
That deals so much damage to
26
turrets,
to
too.
42. So ignore Terminus. Don't go Wits End or
Yeah, well, Terminus is a late game item. That game, I think Black Cleaver into Whitsun would serve you better. Or even Black Cleaver into Rageblade. I think. Let me look at Rageblade. I haven't built this item yet. I always go Whitsun because, like, higher elo, the resistance isn't to nasty is better. Basic attacks, 30 magic damage on hit. Because, like, Whitsun goes to, like, 55 or something.
I don't know.
But then this gives you attack speed, which is true damage for BEL'VETH, as well as everything else, the fucking Blade and Kraken Slayer. And then once fully stacked, then it applies the on hits twice.
Oh, okay. So I should okay. For like fourth or fifth, I should replace it instead of Terminus. I should just get Rage Blade.
Yeah, it's an option. I think like a build that won't like steer you wrong would be Kraken, Blade, Black Cleaver, Wits. Into Terminus, I guess. Fucking stupid item. If you get that far. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. Games like that, hard right?
Hey, it's interesting at least. Rather to
Yeah, no.
love and lost than to never love at all.
Ah, that's true. That's a fact.
Alrighty. 3 key
I
points.
appreciate the
Recap.
time, man.
Hold on. 3 key points. Recap this bad boy for me.
All right, let's check this out.
What do you think?
3 key points. Let's
Yep.
see. Feel like I need to don't double dip for sure.
Okay. I need to tell this to
double
myself. Don't double dip.
don't double dip because we saw all those plays and none of them worked, right? Like literally every time I double dip, yeah, it never worked.
Good.
Always, No, always look at least from what I saw that you helped me see in this VOD, in this VOD review. Always, yeah, think ahead and look for something to do, pretty much, right? Because there is always something to do. Like you showed me, like most of the time, I was just like, you know what, I don't know what to do. Like I just wait here, blah blah blah. But like right now, you showed me, oh, you can do this. You showed me just how many options I have. It's crazy, and I appreciate that, man.
Nice. So that's what I like.
And
Even if I'm a noob at a game, it's like, yeah, if someone can expand, show me what the fuck's possible, it's like, now we're talking, baby.
exactly, man. I felt like if you open so many doors, you're like, oh, you could be doing this, and then you can go back and then gank them again instead of just, waiting or being
Oh,
XP down. And I'm like,
yeah, especially like a rinse on the camps into a reset, big item, go fight. Enemy will be like, what the
boom.
fuck? You'll feel like you're smurfing too. You'll be a level up, item advantage into the enemy jungle. So no double dip, ask what's next.
And the third, I'd say, honestly, just when in team fights, focus on squishies because, like, I don't know, we saw in the VODs, I usually just go for whoever's in front of me, and I need a bit, yeah, target better, because yeah, I just usually just go with whoever's in front of me, whether it be a tank, whoever. I need to focus up, lock in when it comes to team fights. Because you saw, I was hitting minion at one point,
Yeah,
I need
yeah,
to.
that part happens. With this part too, like if you relentlessly pursue them, BEL'VETH has the tools to do that. It's fucked up. Most champs, it's like they have to wait their turn and then jump over, and if the enemy jumps away, oh man, they're gone. BEL'VETH is fucked up. You can Q over that wall and then Q towards them, and then they run away, dash away, they flash away. You flash W, you're on top of them. With Bork, you're gonna slow them. With Black Cleaver, you're gonna have movement speed. And you just keep hitting, hitting, hitting. And even if that target goes away, just keep them in mind. That Echo entered the fog of war, you could still be moving towards him or be waiting where he's going to go next. Things like that. Yeah, because that's going to add a lot of shit to your gameplay rather than hit whoever's in front.
That's yeah. God, that was so bad, man. Ah,
Better than my Bel'Veths when I first started. All I did for first 50 games was queue into them and see if they killed me before I had to use E. I was like, how many Qs can I get off? Meanwhile, Darius top lane just dunks my ass.
just with the bleed, man. I don't like Darius at all in this elo either. I feel like Ham and Cho'Gath, you can't deal with them, man. Because
Yeah, yeah, Cho'Gath and these high base damage fuckers like Trundle's Chomp. Cho'Gath's full shit. Dude, Cho'Gath has a silence too that really fucks you up as BEL'VETH. You don't have to deal with very many, but fuck, I can't dash. My champ don't work no more.
yeah, exactly. It's like what silence into his little knockup, and then he chomps you, and I'm like, all right, well,
Well played.
yeah,
Thumbs
exactly.
up.
Yeah, it's like exactly what. Yep, good counterplay.
Alrighty, well that's a good place to end this.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no
Thank
problem.
you, man. And what's crazy, man, dude, I hope you blow up. Like I hope you get crazy views, man. I hope you fill that void that Nice left. I know Nice wasn't a good coach per se, but there's a lot of stars, and I hope you fill that void, man. I hope you blow up teaching beginners
Alrighty,
and new
thank you.
people.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good words always make me feel good. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, man.
Alright.
Have a great rest of your night.
You too. Talk to you later.
Good man.
Bye. No matter what I could say, it's just I'm smiling when he says that. I'm like, me? Me blow up? 감사합니다. I got a piece so bad, BRB.